This morning to the last day of our symposium on mediating public spaces, genealogies of feminist knowledge in the digital age. And I'd like to begin, first of all, by thanking Tom Long, who is the Director of Creativity Center at Hampshire College, and who has worked with us for a while to set this day up. And I also wanted to thank the Director of the Five Colleges Incorporated, Neil Abram, for his support of the center and for this symposium, and Nate Tyrion, who is the academic program director of, how about that? Title. And I also wanted to acknowledge that the learning communities that are presenting today are funded by the Andrew W. Mellon Foundation through the Five Colleges Incorporated Project on Digital Humanities, and also by the Director's Discretionary Fund of the Five College Women's Studies Research Center. And we're very grateful for the support. I wanted to just say quickly a word about the concept of the learning communities and the relationship to digital humanities in general. The learning communities are collaborative groups made up of faculty, students, IT colleagues, and research associates from the center. And the purpose of the communities is really to create interdisciplinary, across the divide between academe and multiple publics, to create resources, to develop courses, to create networking projects, to really, I think, go to the heart of the liberal arts focus and mission, to really make us critical users of digital technologies, producers of knowledge, and also communicators across various disciplines. We also very much believe in global feminisms and really thinking about the relationship between local and global communities. So I wanted to say a few words about the concept. I think we're leaders in the digital humanities and bringing and opening up the idea or the concept of digital humanities. So that's what we're doing here today. I also wanted to thank, in particular, the participants in all the learning communities, and you'll get to know some of them today. And I've asked all of them to introduce themselves and to present to you their work in progress thus far. We also have set up media demos in the room across the hall. And so after the roundtable and the student presentations, I also wanted to thank Karen Kohler, Sonia Donaldson, and Nanette Rothmuller for working with their seminars and asking their students to also participate this morning in giving you a taste of the kind of work they're doing using multiple forms of media. They will also be setting up their work in the room across the hall. So the idea is that the roundtable and the presentations are a way for you to get a first look at their projects, and then the interchange and the one-on-one discussion and exchanging ideas will take place over there, so you can actually mill about and have a much deeper conversation. And we'll be serving lunch from 11:30. Well, you'll be picking up, it's a buffet lunch, we're not going to serve from 11:30 to 1. And then the zine workshop, for those of you participating, is at 12:30 over in the library. And there'll be people helping you find that place. And then, of course, this afternoon at 2:30 at Amherst Cinema, we have the screening of Sonali Gulati M, and a reception at Mead Art Museum, Amherst College, at 4:45 to 6, and you're all welcome to join us there. Okay, without further ado, I'm going to turn the floor over to TreaAndrea Russworm, Professor of English at UMass, who's going to present the first learning community on race, gender, and new media. Thank you.
All right, so since we're first, I will try not to take up too much time and kind of keep us going, and maybe there'll be time for questions or conversation. So my learning community is unique in that it involves both faculty, myself, and Jennifer Malkowski and Ria Sanfilippo, and a set of undergraduates, 4 undergraduates, two of whom are here today. So I'll talk about both parts of this learning community and what it's been like so far. And we've been working together for the year. So on the faculty side, part of what we've been doing is designing a new course that I'm going to teach in the fall at UMass. But I think in collaborating and building this course, we've all decided that we'd like to teach it in one way or another at different campuses. And so that's something that's, though it's not a team taught course, it's a course that is hopefully going to be shared in spirit at least, and in practice we'll all teach it in some way or another. So there's that side of it. And so that is involved, as I said, designing this syllabus, which we now have a draft of. At least the draft was there this morning. Let's see. Well, I won't be able to show it for now. We'll have it in the media room so you can see the actual outline of the syllabus. We'll pull it up on the screen. Did it move over? Let's see. No, it didn't move there. So it may not be visible. I added it early in the morning hours. So maybe I didn't publish it. I don't know. But so unfortunately we can't see it, but it's a great syllabus. You'll have to trust. It's awesome. And one of the things that I've enjoyed about this syllabus, so I'll just talk about it. The course is called Race, Gender, and New Media, and so we have sections on opening section on why race, gender, and new media with a set of readings and the opening conversation of why study this. Mostly about the digital divide. Is there a digital divide? How do we talk about that as a potential frame for this course? And then we have units after that. A unit on machinima, fans and digital culture, video games. What the web series is a pretty extended unit, studying the web series as a form, and so several other topics throughout. And the thing that's been most exciting about this is that normally when I make a new course, I'm sort of inspired at the early moment when I have the idea for the course, and then a year later or so, when the course actually happens, I'm in a frantic rush to actually get ready to teach that course, and maybe there's a little less inspiration, but also certainly a lot less expertise, it being a new course. So what's been really unique here is that we've had a year to talk about and plan this course that isn't happening for me until the fall. So that's a really unique experience, and also it's not done in isolation. I'm not just doing it, trying to figure out what should I say about social media. I don't know that much about social media. I've been able to draw on Jen and Maria's expertise, and they've uploaded lesson plans, sample readings, assignments. It really has been awesome to do a class this way, and I'd say it's something that I've never done because I've never team taught, right? So it's been a special experience in that way. And then the other side of the practicum, working with the undergraduates, they've actually done a lot of work. We've met pretty often throughout the year working on their individual projects. And in most cases, they're seniors. Zaynah is not a senior. She's the only junior in the group. So she will actually take the class in the fall along with 34 other UMass students who will be in the class. And it'll just be taught by me at that point. But the other students, the other two who are not here, have worked on senior projects. One's based on women of color and new media production. So you'll see some of her research here uploaded on the website. Zaynah and Billy are both going to talk about their projects, so I won't say that much about that. Martin is working on women gamers and competitive gaming, and so doing a set of interviews about women and their gaming practices, interviewing women and they're talking about their gaming practices. So it's sort of a diverse range of projects that all fall under this big sort of generic title of race, gender, and new media. And I left it that way just because I wanted to have some room and some freedom to explore. And I learned a significant amount from working with the undergraduates, right? From working with them on their projects, and that has also informed the content of the course in some pretty significant ways. And then in practical ways, these students have done a lot of what you're seeing, all of what you're seeing here. They've been working on setting up stuff that we're going to use in the class. So this is going to be the course website. And so we've already have a head start on this. And as you know, doing this on my own it's the start of next year or as an ongoing project during the year is a lot of time and a lot of labor. So just having this structure, this infrastructure up already with sample bibliographies So you'd see for now, we already have sort of different research areas with a number of sources that are already here that we can draw from, and that students in the class will be able to use as a part of their research projects. Then we have these different research areas where there's sort of mini articles. A big feature of the course will be interviewing new media producers. So we're starting an interview archive now where some of the students are doing those interviews. Zaynah has been the first successful student to do an interview, or has had the first successful interview, so that will be there. Key terms, and then some of our central areas. And so just having this infrastructure in place already is just amazing, because again, this is stuff that usually happens with a new course kind of on the fly. And so I'm excited to feel like I have a big head start, going into the semester. And I'll make sure the syllabus is visible so that it's in the overflow room or the other room over there, so that you can see the syllabus. And we actually would like for people to suggest other sources. And so if you can look and browse the unit, you can leave a comment and sort of annotate any part of that syllabus, because it really is supposed to be a collaborative experience, and I love more input, right? So that's that. Now, Zaynah and then Billy will tell you a little bit about their projects.
Hi, I'm Shaikh. I'm a women, gender, sexuality studies and philosophy double major with an English minor at UMass. I'm a third year, and my interests include post-colonial studies, queer theory, and new media studies. So my project, as a consumer of music, I found myself to be increasingly interested in the recent wave of queer people of color as leaders in the underground electro hip-hop scene, particularly Black and Latina queer folks. Some of these artists include Leif, Mickey Blanco, and Maluka. I've been particularly interested in the concept of Banjee culture as it relates to queer masculinities and femininities. Banjee is a descriptive term born out of the ballroom scene of the 70s and 80s, a scene that continues today. Banjee is a word used to describe Black or Latino men who wear very urban masculine clothing and have masculine gender presentation, often showcasing their physique with tight muscle tees, while also engaging in sexual encounters with men they may or may not identify as gay. Banjee is often paired with the term realness, which in short often means passing for an actual group or thing while implying that you're actually not a part of said in-group. The ballroom community that began in the 70s and 80s was comprised of a predominantly Black and Latina gay population, first showcased in the 1990 film Paris is Burning, which many of you may have seen, I'm not sure, and has grown diverse in recent years. Banjee culture also has diversified in recent years to include women who self-describe as Banjee. For example, Azalea Banks and Maluka. However, despite these diversifications, gender-wise, Banjee is still a term used and applied by queer artists who are Black and Latina or Latino and Latino descent. In my work, I want to argue that the use of Banjee as a descriptor and culture by many queer female artists is not a reappropriation, but a way to subvert hip-hop femininities and gender performance. I want to ask what it means for a female artist to display Banjee girl realness, given the definitions I've mentioned, because realness means that you are not exactly a part of the in-group that you are said to be presenting. So what does it mean for a woman to be not quite a woman, if she is trying to display a new kind of femininity? I also want to analyze the term Banjee in conjunction with ratchet sexuality, as both terms connote a certain racial and socioeconomic status. So far in my endeavors, I've relied really heavily on social media to try to connect with artists, and I've been less than fruitful. I've only had one interview so far, and it's been with a male artist from Baltimore. His name's Abdu Ali. What you've seen in this music video, you can see several different depictions of femininities and masculinities. It's pretty loaded. There's a lot of media. There's a lot of stuff going on in the background. And I want to note Abdu's use of bitch and cunt, which have in, ball culture, RuPaul, have been really questionable uses of language. But I want to particularly focus just in the last few seconds on the word cunt and the way that he self-describes as a real cunt, which cunt, the word itself is very abrasive. We hear it, and it's not quite been reclaimed by many women. And the way that he used it and the way that we talked about it in the interview, he used it as a way to visually be abrasive. He says that he wears a beard while also wearing a dress. He wants to subvert certain ideas of masculinity as a gay male artist, and I find that very interesting, and I want to study that with the way that women in this whole scene also use the word cunt and use Banjee as a way to subvert their own femininities, and that's where I'm going to continue going, and hopefully I'll get more interviews with female artists, but for now that's where I'm at, and thank you.
Yeah, and so since, as I said, Zaynah will be in the class next fall, she'll take the class but have this as her primary focus for her assignments, to continue this project and write about it. She has aspirations to publish in this area, so we always have to support that. All right, so Billy, do you want to say a little bit about your project?
Yeah, hello, my name is Billy Clifford. I'm an English major at UMass. I've been a gamer since I was 6 years old, and I've been interested in gender and sexuality issues since high school. This past year, I'm working on a capstone project regarding interactive narrative and gender presentation in video games. Video games are very interesting in that because they're an interactive medium, the player has an opportunity to affect and change the story and the plot. As well as it has a certain level of immersion that often books and television really just can't compete with. One of the foremost examples of this idea in my personal case study is the Mass Effect series, produced by BioWare, a company that prides itself on delivering emotionally engaging stories. However, as painful as the stereotype is, the video game industry community still likes to pretend that it's a primarily masculine sphere, and so caters primarily to quote-unquote masculine interests. As such, female characters tend to be over-sexualized, and games in general don't approach topics of sex and sexuality in a mature manner. That doesn't mean that the medium is completely devoid of well-written, strong female characters, or is completely incapable of discussing gender and sexuality, only that it's difficult in the current climate and expectations of the gamer community. What makes Mass Effect interesting is that because of the strong writing, it does possess such strong female characters, but it's also part of that same gaming climate, and so it tries to fulfill those expectations. Though at least it has the decency to poke fun of itself when it does so. At the same time, Mass Effect is also one of the few series willing to address and portray gay and bisexual relationships in a mature manner. As a BioWare tradition, players are able to create their own versions of the protagonist, in this case Commander Shepard, and decide what that commander's gender, personality, and what decisions they make. Female Shepards are actually not uncommon among players of both sexes, and as a large fan following, I'm disappointed that she doesn't receive the same media exposure that her male counterpart does in advertisements and promotional materials. Whichever gender Shepard is, the player is free to pursue various romance subplots with non-player characters in the series, including several gay and lesbian pairings. In short, Mass Effect is an ideal case study in the ways that video games can convey narrative and examples of both the good and the bad when it comes to gender presentation games. I even have a small clip depicting one such scene.
Yeah. And so if it's clear, in this particular game, you have a choice as the gamer to play as male or female Commander Shepard, and in the clip that we're going to watch, the player has chosen to play as a female Shepard, and so the storylines are dependent in some way on that choice, and then your romantic options that you choose, etc. So we'll see a clip of a gamer playing as the female Shepard. Let's see if I can full screen.
The three of us.
Wait, does anyone see where the full screen is?
Oh, watch on YouTube, you'll get the option there.
Oh, I think we should see this full screen. Sorry. Okay, there we go. I wanted to show the other one, but I just couldn't see that. Oh no! Okay.
Dr. Tassoni. Commander, we need to talk. The three of us.
This is a rather awkward situation.
I'm not trying to make anyone uncomfortable. I'm just trying to figure out where I stand.
I should have seen this coming. I am afraid it was inevitable. I may not know much about human relationships, but I understand the concept of jealousy.
I'm not jealous. I'm confused. I thought we had something, ma'am. I didn't realize that you were, well, that you prefer other women.
I am not exactly a woman, Lieutenant. My species only has one gender.
Yeah, but you look... All right, Shepard, make a choice. If you're not serious about me, it'll hurt, but I'll get over it. But until you tell me, I can't get over it.
But you're special to me, Caden.
What about Liara? Is she special too?
This is exactly what I was trying to avoid. I never should have told you my feelings, Shepard. I have put you in a terrible position. I am sorry.
You were right to tell me, Liara. I feel the same way.
Stop. You can't keep dancing around this, Shepard. Make a choice. Her or me.
I never meant for you to get hurt. But Liara is the one I really care about.
I'll be fine, Commander. We're just friends. I understand. I hope things work out for you, too. I've got a lot of work to do, Commander. Mission reports, that kind of thing. You know how it is.
I feel bad for him, Shepard. I hope he'll be okay.
Caden's a Marine. He'll be fine.
I suppose you're right. I am sorry you were put in this position, but I'm glad you chose me. I don't believe we should continue this discussion here in the comm room, Shepard. You know where to find me if you want to have a more private conversation.
Okay. So partly because of Billy's project in the fall, I'm going to have a team in the class pursue reading through the walkthroughs and investigating how people respond to these choices that you choose, because as you can see, the gamer could make those dialogue choices, and so each person's playthrough is slightly different of this scene, right? It could be dramatically different, in fact, and your choices could be different. So what we want to study are the conversations around some of these choices, and so we'll be able to pick up where some of Billy's work has left off. And he's writing a 50-page, has written for the most part, a 50-page senior thesis on this game, so it's no small feat for him. So it seems like we're out of time, but you get a sense of just how this community has worked, both on the faculty side and the student side. So yeah, that's enough for now.